Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the channel. And today we have two very special guests with us. We have the Adventures of Adam over here, just kidding, and Ragewood on this side. Guys, welcome. How are you?
Doing good. How are you, man?
Doing well. Ragewood, how are you, man?
Yeah, fine and dandy. Thank you very much.
Let's just jump into it, guys. The reason we're here today is because Godforge Alpha is over. Man, shed a tear.
Womp womp. Yeah.
Single man tier.
Yes, and now we sit waiting for whatever is next and whenever it will come. But wanted to get two guys together. We all have done content in our own spaces and have been doing some great stuff, and just wanted to really just chat and say, what were our final thoughts around Godforge Alpha? What did we really want to just talk about, and just what are our takeaways? So let's just start off. Ragewood, you're the first on the channel. Haven't hung out with you yet, man. So why don't we go ahead and start on your end? Just talking final thoughts, things that come to your mind when it came to Godforge Alpha, and biggest takeaways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything negative to say about the Godforge Alpha.
Yeah.
I think we all knew from the competition side of things that there'd be a bit of turbulence, I suppose, amongst the community with potential bugs and things like that. But overall, I think it was a pretty positive experience for everyone.
Yeah, no, it was definitely Alpha 3 was definitely a different experience, right? And it all had to do with the competition. And Adam, I don't know if it was just like your hours or just like general schedule, but I felt like I just never heard from you, especially towards the end of it. So how were those last final days, and at least in general, like wave 3 in the light of competition? How is it different for you?
My employer pulled a fast one on me. I got off work early on Wednesday, and they told me that my shift for Thursday and Friday were going to be canceled. I got super stoked, thinking I was going to be able to stream Thursday and Friday. I did do a stream on Thursday, but then I woke up Friday morning to a voicemail saying, "Hey, you know how we said your shift for Friday's canceled? That was a lie. You have to come into work today." Loop. A little disappointed, but it is what it is. I still got to stream Thursday and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. But after I beat the caverns once, I deleted everything off my account and ran through it again just for fun. It was so much fun, I did it twice.
Okay, rock on, man. Awesome. So did that kind of leave you out of the loop when it came to the last day? I know that I believe when the information about how Nine and the Hive Mind and everybody else was getting through, I think that's normally your sleeping hours, if I recall correctly. So were you around for all of that?
I saw the announcement on Discord. I think I got home from work. I was driving home from work and I was putting gas in my car when I saw the announcement go up on Discord. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So I wasn't really trying to compete. I was just having fun. Yeah, that's just how I roll.
Yeah,
I'm a hardcore casual is how I describe myself, right? I just like having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would definitely consider myself that as well. I can't help but be hardcore in some sense, just for the fact of what I am able to learn and be able to do inside of the game. But then, yeah, when it comes to just really being able to be on the upper echelon, there isn't really the ability, just in life, I think for me, to be able to navigate into that true hardcore. But Rage, now I was a little confused at one point. Were you part of the Hive Mind?
I was in their Discord, yeah.
Okay, you were in the Discord, but were you contributing a lot? Were you just kind of present and being involved?
A little bit. The thing is, I can't win. So it doesn't matter what I do. I wasn't allowed to win. So
okay.
I was there. I was sort of sharing ideas, but I wouldn't take the credit per se. I definitely didn't put the biggest shift in.
I don't know about you guys, but it was for me, in my experience, solo experience, not doing a whole lot. It really didn't have really much time to hang out in the community either for that particular wave. I was completely lost when it came to some of the mechanics that were going on and how to even, it's everything I tried, guys, everything I tried, I was still getting 36 million damage. I was just I feel like I should be better than this.
It's not terrible. Like I only did one run on 151. I just kind of hit full auto and let it go, and I got 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's 3 times my score, but at the same time, I wasn't really trying to go hard. But just I don't know. I had a pretty solid team. So I had like Heimdall for counterattacks and I don't remember who else honestly because I deleted everything and I forgot who my team was. But yeah, 30 million is not bad. That's a respectable score for like not exploiting bugs and all that stuff. You know, just trying to build a God's honest team.
Yeah,
Very respectable. I'd say.
yeah, it was definitely a challenge, like just keeping some certain heroes alive. It's just like there would be some, and I never understood it, right? It was like, okay, Dracula, who, while being built like well in terms of like HP and everything like that, he was lasting forever compared to everybody else. But then Heimdall would just, or even like Bernhild would just get crushed earlier than I expected. And I was just like, man, like how is my tank just getting completely obliterated? But you know, things came to light, and it's like, oh, okay, now I know a little bit more.
Yeah. Like someone I know called Sue, in their testing, if they used Heimdall's ult, he just got wiped out, obliterated. Like there was something to do with the way Protect was working, that the damage wasn't getting mitigated, and he was just taking the full force. So in Sue's 800 million run, didn't actually use Heimdall's ult once because it would kill the run instantly.
How interesting. Yeah, there was so many little things, right? And it really like is interesting to see kind of even the progression, right, of even Alpha. So like the three of us, we were all there for all 3 waves. How did you feel? Let's start with you, Adam. When it comes to just like being able, having been there for every single wave and seeing how the game progressed and just like the feel, the vibe, even just like the bugs that were squashed, everything like that. How did you feel all of that changed over time? And do you think that it was like, is it as much as you would have expected, or was there more than you expected? Like, how did you feel about it come wave 3 finally?
In terms of bugs, like I feel like the main ones were squashed between wave 1 and 2, at least for when you're fighting enemy waves, right? So like it was the Isis. Like if you guys didn't take part in Alpha 1 and you thought Isis was annoying in Alpha 3, in Alpha 1 she was bugged so that her passive would trigger at the start of every turn in battle, not every one of her turns.
Yes, if you thought 149 was hard in wave 3, imagine two of her on the final wave, which she was healing 10% max HP every single enemy round. Oh my god.
And your turn as well, and it would trigger on when I would use ultimates. If I took any action in battle, like ultimates, turns, everything, it was just her passive would go off and heal.
Mm-hmm.
It made it very frustrating, and I beat it with rares, baby. I still say wave 1 was the hardest. I know that they tuned the bosses to be harder in wave 3, but honestly, like 1U and a Ramsey is like it's enough boss damage. Like it all you would have to do would overcompensate for their lesser stats of being rares, so it would just take a little bit more gear. I still maintain that wave 1 was the hardest.
And you think that's mostly because of bugs, or kind of the combination of bugs and rare only team?
There's definitely bugs were a huge part of it. Also, Musashi would just infinitely counterattack until your heroes were dead.
Yeah.
And like it was literally such that if you didn't one-shot the entire wave on some waves, you would just die. It was it. Like it was kill them or die on the clapback, basically. Yeah. So that added its whole other layer of complexity. It added its own challenges. So yeah, I definitely think wave 1 was the most difficult. And then I didn't feel hardly any challenge at all in wave 2 because I got insane legendaries pretty early on, and I just steamrolled the entire thing on auto. And then wave 3, they nerfed the legendary drop rates, and I think they nerfed the rare drop rates too. So we didn't have all these level 5 awakened rares, which actually made epics come into the equation, which was to me was like so much fun to like be forced to rely on a wider variety of heroes through my push. So I think they nailed the balance for wave 3.
Rage, what did you feel about like the difficulty levels of the waves? Did you feel like there was one that was harder or easier than the others?
I agree with Adam. I think wave 1 was the hardest. Like talking about Isis and Musashi, I remember in wave 1 I got stuck on 135, and the first wave is 2 Musashis and an Isis, and you couldn't control the Musashis because Isis would just clean them off, and it was such a pain. As you say, it was a case of, one shot them or be one shot. So you had the unkillable Hercs, which I think actually made a reappearance for some people in wave 3 as well. I was fortunate enough I didn't really get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, wave 1... Yeah, wave 1 was definitely the hardest.
Yeah.
Wave 3 felt harder to me because I had, garbage luck when it came to hero pulls. I did the entire thing with Guan Yu, Ramses, and Anubis. But I'd definitely say wave 1 was harder in just simply in relation to bugs, because I had Zeus in wave 1 and still found it harder.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough to get Zeus in wave 1, and I think that is the only reason I was able to succeed as I did in wave 1. I think I could have, managed it, mangled it all together, Adam in your rares only team. Gosh, bro. But yeah, having Zeus was just such a cheat code in so many ways. But yeah, for wave 3 and myself, my hero drops just felt like garbage too. I think several people in my community have commented in that I'm kind of bashing YDG a bit, just because I feel like he's a little undertuned compared to other Eternal heroes, especially Eternal damage dealers. I think he's still a good hero. He carried me through the caverns because he was my guaranteed drop at 30, and basically my primary damage dealer until I probably got into the 130s. Even with that, it's just I think it's more so, it's not even the damage output he's doing. I feel like it's more that there's no tech around him for getting to his turns, not his turns, but his abilities faster. And I might just be comparing him to Zeus, but am I saying that correctly? Is there a rage?
No. So look, I'm not sure if you're aware of the reason why he felt sort of underwhelming, put it that way.
Wasn't it his cooldowns or something was wrong?
So his cooldowns were bugged. So his core ability went something like 5% damage increase, 10% damage increase, then +1 cooldown. So taking it from a 5 to a 6 turn.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than decreasing it.
Oh no, I didn't know it did that.
Yeah, so it did that, and then the fourth book would reduce the cooldown, so bring it back down to 5, and then you'd have a 5% chance to place the burn. So what should have been a 3-turn cooldown never actually changed from 5, which is why it felt impossible to get back to his cooldowns.
Yeah.
His ultimate was also supposed to place a shield. That didn't work either. So that'll be why he kind of felt gimped, I suppose, because he was handicapped from the get-go. Yeah,
it was so difficult for me, just managing his abilities. And I'm absolutely, and I know you guys are too, but pro manual play, right? That makes it more fun, especially in the alpha. That made the alpha more fun, really needing us to be able to play in manual. And so I'm not bashing manual, but the management of YDG's skills and being okay, I cannot use this ability right now, or I will not have it again, and I will die in wave 3. It's just and so having to compensate for that with other damage dealers or more control or this or that, again, it was a good challenge, right? And that's what was fun about alpha, is it was genuinely a challenge in many areas. But yeah, that particular in that bug and what was happening with his cooldowns, as you say, Ragewood, that kind of was what sent me over of the I wish I had if I'd had Anubis, I'd been very happy with that.
He was so good. He was good in wave 2 for me. I had Herc and Anubis in wave 2. So just between the two of them, that's fine. Not having Herc, I really, really relied on Anubis to land sort of the despair. So I'd have him super slow, but fast enough that he would go before the waves. Ramses and Guan Yu just to do as much damage as they could, and just the control from him to clean up. I would not have done it without Anubis.
Yeah.
Speaking of Anubis and Hercules, I wouldn't mind taking an opportunity to get up on a soapbox here, because I saw a discussion unfolding in the Discord today, and then Soplin DM'd me to kind of chime in his thoughts and trying to get, so we had a conversation about it too. We were talking about how with gearing, it seemed as though you kind of had, it was difficult for heroes who had debuffs to land, like Anubis's Despair or Hercules' Acid. It was really, really difficult to put them in a damage build and still get enough accuracy to land your debuffs. Now, that might not be an issue if you have like fully decked out endgame gear, but the gear slots that have accuracy are gloves and helm. And those are also the gear slots that have crit rate. So you either have to kind of sacrifice crit rate in one or two of those slots, and if you're set or crit damage even on the gloves to get accuracy. So then you're kind of like, I don't know if that was I'd like to know if that was an intentional design choice. Like, make players choose: do you want this hero to be a damage dealer, or do you want them to be a debuffer? And if there was their choice, if that was a deliberate decision, I think they succeeded. But it kind of felt bad. You want your Herc to smash, but you also want to make sure he lands the stun, right? So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I'd be curious to hear the team's thoughts on that.
Yeah.
I would definitely think it was a intentional design decision. So, like, my Anubis actually did have accuracy helm and gloves for the climb, and I just picked pieces that had some crit rate substats, like some HP, like just to give a little bit of oomph, like
some stank on it.
But I knew that I needed that Despair.
Yeah.
And I only had sort of 150, 160 accuracy towards the end, which isn't really enough to consistently land, but because it's a two-hitter, I had 2 attempts to land it, so I was generally okay.
Yeah. For, I think, all 3 waves, I really wanted to build a damage Scotty, and I never did. Just because it was such a high bar of stats, right? Like, and she's not even a brawler. I probably could have done it, but it was just like, always when I got around to having the gear to do it, it was like, I have other priorities. Like, but I would say, yeah, that's probably an intentional choice because, right, like you can't just, or shouldn't just, it's a game design option, but like having that one hero that does it all. Oh, let me like fully control the entire enemy waves. Also, let me just nuke down everyone in 1 or 2 shots. And it's just like, no, like you need to, if you want utility, you need to sacrifice some of the cannon, right? I myself, like, there was plenty of times. So in these circumstances, Adam, I ended up putting, weapons on my heroes that I wouldn't have actually chosen because I wanted, like, the Amino no Hoko that has, the accuracy primary stat instead of like doing something like the Thunderbolt or something else that would have been adding damage, just because it's like, okay, yeah, I'm giving up some ability on the weapon that I may potentially want, but I really need that accuracy, and I'd rather pump stats as much on the gear than the weapon itself. And that was my choice. Maybe it was right, maybe it was wrong, probably wrong, let's be honest. But
I mean, it's a strategy game. I don't think there's any wrong choice. It's just,
and especially with like all the stuff that you can do, right? Imprints, weapon choice, substat on the weapon, gear sets, like all this stuff is like, okay, well, you have to make concessions somewhere, right, to be able to do what you want to do. And so, no, I loved it. And in fact, like now that we're out of alpha and we know a little bit more about what gearing champions and building champions is going to look like, how does that compare to you guys? Compared to other games you've played in the past? Like, does it feel good? Do you think that there's something missing? Do you think that they are going in the right direction? Or even if they are in the right direction, what do you think is something they could potentially add to even make it better in the future? I'd love to know your thoughts.
It'd be interesting if maybe a couple years down the line they add another row for gear. Like World of Warcraft, you have like rings and trinket slots and necklace and like
like the game that shall not be named.
Yeah.
Something like that
there's
looks like accessories.
There's myriad of other games out there. Yeah. So like they could add another like a an extra little box where you can set up like trinkets and rings and necklace or other just miscellaneous magical items. Maybe they could do it in similar to gear where you have like your main stat and substats, or maybe they could do it kind of in the same vein as the weapon system where they have unique passives that whenever you get a critical hit, boost your accuracy by 50% for 3 turns or something. So if you do have like a Hercules type who wants to do damage. Like you open with A2, get a crit. Now you have more accuracy, so when you do the A1 attacks, you place the acids or whatever. There's something cool like that, like really cool thing. Because in World of Warcraft, your trinkets, a lot of them have passive abilities that trigger under certain circumstances, and they give you a temporary stat boost. I'd love to see something like that in this game.
Yeah, that could be cool. Ragewood, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think I like the way that they've done it. It's not too complicated or daunting for newer players. And there's some things they've said themselves you don't need to reinvent the wheel on, and I think like the gearing setup is one of those things. I like that they've done certain main stats like a crit rate on helmets and speed on legs. You don't see that anywhere, but I liked that in that instance it gave me flexibility. Like I didn't always have speed boots, but I might have attack percent boots and speed legs. So be like, okay, right, I can do it that way. So I like what they've done there.
Yeah.
I think the weapons is similar to artifacts in Dragonair, relics in Raid. Again, there's some familiarity there. Weapon imprints takes it a step further, I think. I guess I haven't played much Raid since relics came in, but I imagine it's similar to sort of like the gem slots that you have on there.
The idea of sacrificing heroes for imprints, I have not played the full breadth of the genre, guys, but I haven't seen that before.
No, so that is it's different, but I think adds again like something similar.
Yeah.
And then, as Adam said, I think the only way you can sort of progress it, which I imagine will probably come in 12 months, 2 years down the line, is then adding that second sort of thing of like maybe necklaces, rings, trinkets, because you don't want to scare people early on with over complexity.
Yeah, here's this entire hero build of 24 slots to add gear into. And by the way, there's rarity. Oh, and rank. Oh, and attunement. Oh,
You got to get the right main stats with the right substats.
Yeah. So here's a kind of a question that I have in thinking through. It was nice in Alpha being able to just go somewhere and get like the gear you want. Like, right, you could farm for this set, and after I think it was after wave 1 that they said, okay, after this wave you're going to be able to get higher ranking gear, and I think they even boosted that further in wave 3, which was absolutely needed, I would say. But being able to just go and farm and get those particular gear sets at higher ranks was really, really nice. But as a free-to-play player and limited resources, it's like, okay, we're not only dealing with rarity of gear, we're also dealing with rank of gear, and we're also dealing with the type of gear in terms of like light, medium, heavy, etc. like that. Which granted, we didn't even deal with attunement in Alpha, and we were still able to have some really good builds, right? So potentially like the type of gear, the whether it's light or heavy, may not even, it might be just like that added extra little thing if you're able to get it, but it's not like, oh, especially at beginning of game, right? Like it's not going to be like if you don't have the right gear, you're not going to be able to progress. But man, there's a lot of variations of gear that are going to be available to us to farm. I'm a little nervous about. I don't know about you. I'm a little nervous about it, guys.
I'm actually kind of excited because ultimately, once you beat the game, what else is there to do but just to keep farming gear until the next content patch, right? Yeah. So the more variations and variety there is, I feel like the longer it will take to get to that point where we're just doing nothing but farming because there's nothing else to do, right? Does that make sense? Like there's always going to be an opportunity to upgrade what you have equipped to your heroes. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Adam. Like, there's going to be a very fine line between like an interesting grind and a frustrating one kind of thing. And I think having the sort of accuracy on gloves and things like that will prolong it slightly because the amount of variety you can have in builds. But let's not also forget they've made it clear they want to have modes that don't require energy and things like that, like roguelite,
yeah,
whichever one it is, kind of thing. Yeah. So there's going to be that to keep players entertained in between drops. But yeah, I think the achievement's going to add another level of spice, but it's going to be very late game. Like, I don't remember all of them, but I think like Brawlers is something like for every piece you get 1% HP. I could be making that up. I vaguely remember
something like that. It's something like that.
Yeah. and there's
Thematic
going to
for the
be
hero.
there's going to be a cost to remove it. We don't know what that cost is. It might be so expensive that actually you don't even want to consider it until like you're level bajillion or whatever
until you like
the route
until
is.
you're in game.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, right.
Level cap bajillion confirmed.
Heard it here first, guys. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Is that like attunement is going to be something that like isn't even really considered an early game. I'm sure there's going to be some video that we all create one day on our own channels to be like, don't make this mistake, and it's going to be like, don't attune early, right? At least there's a chance of that. We don't know, guys. Just we don't know. All subject to change, and we're all really just hypothesizing at this point. But I mean, there's just so much to look forward to. And yeah, to your point, we got roguelike, we got what is it, normalized PvP potentially? Is that the proper term? Like that's exciting. I don't know about you guys, but I am really excited for like private tournaments. So like community driven like tournaments that you can do and enabling like, you know, friendly battles and stuff like that. And I think a lot of things that Godforge and what Fateless is doing is going to enable a lot of community driven things like that. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited for the normalized modes because the sky is literally the limit. There's so much they could do to constantly just iterate on it and keep it fresh, right? Like, yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I mean, this Caverns is a good example, right? We know it's not going to be what we've just played, but that is essentially the foundation, right? And they've invested a lot of money into it. It'd be silly for them not to use it again moving forward. Yeah. But you can change it to Asgard-only heroes. You start with a Guardi or a CRS, repeat the same process, but only picking Asgard as you go down. You know, something that in a podcast I was on with Brad previously, he said himself, you can also make that sort of clan tournaments in a way, like, right, first clan down the tower, you know, everyone is striving to help each other. You know, there's so many things you can do and iterate on it. It's really exciting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. The sky is the limit, I feel like, in what they're going to do. And what will be interesting, and a conversation that really I don't think has happened yet, is like where the line of gamer and business happens, right? So obviously for a game to make money, for Fateless to be able to succeed, they have to focus on like the next big patch, the next piece of content, the next hero drops, anything like that. You know, the standard things that normal game developers have to deal with, that they focus on, everything like that. With Fateless being a community first driven developer and Godforge being what it has been so far, I am really interested to see what that turns into as the game goes live and as we get honestly past, I would say past the first year of live.
It's quite abundantly clear that the founders and even some of the developers like Brad and stuff are playing the game. Like they were topping the leaderboards at, like in the first 24 hours. Chosen, Simon, Cham, and Fiction. They were all like in the top 100. Like they were going hard. They were like showing that not only are they making the game, but they also play it and they play it at a high level. They understand their game. It's like it's. I would be shocked if they put out a piece of content that just didn't feel good to play as a player, because they're gonna have empathy for us because they're going through the same experiences themselves. If they're ever designing something like, well, this sucks, I hate it, they're gonna go back to the drawing board.
I think monetization is a scary word for anyone in the community. I personally am under no illusion that we will have packs like shards and summons are the biggest money maker for these kind of games, right? Like, as much as, you know, people don't want to admit it, it is like there's probably, because we've seen it with frames for what's it, Fafnir's Bane title and frame kind of thing. There's going to be things like that, I imagine, but that only gets you so much, right? So there will be some of those Krakens and whales which none of us can compete with, right? Like, it is what it is, but I think the the positive thing is, as you sort of alluded to, they are players. So I don't think we're going to get anything predatory, I suppose, is the thing that I'm hoping for.
Yeah, like there really are no illusions. At least for some people. I don't know about y'all. I mean, Adam, I even saw a piece, like a post that you put out the other day, and just hearing some of the thoughts from community members, I'm like, man, I hope they do this, or I hope they do that. And it's just like, guys, what are you thinking? It's like this is a company, right? Like, yes, they're gamers first, community first, sure, great, but they also have to survive. They have to thrive as well, because they want to develop more games. They want to grow. And I don't know about you guys, and for anybody who's watching this, I don't know about you, but like, I want Fateless to grow, because I want their mentality and what they're putting forward and how they're developing and working on games. I want that to succeed so that they can continue to really honestly just impact the market. Because let's just say Godforge hits. Like, it hits hard and it blows up the market. Let's just say it's top of the charts, and I mean, it hits that threshold that Simon is really hoping for, right? Number one, most played, most players, all these kinds of things. Like, that is going to create waves in the entire ecosystem, right? Like, this has been discussed time and time again. I know I've done videos on it, Adam. I think you and I even talked about this on our raid in Godforge Different, but like, Godforge isn't going to kill Raid. It's not going to happen. Raid is a well-established game going on 7 years of life. It has, an entire, I think even an entire culture of players that Godforge doesn't even really touch. And there's just so much there. But Godforge could be the best thing that ever happened to Raid, because it can push them to make a better game. And I think that is what I really hope for, that any space that Fateless steps into, one, that they succeed, so that they can then impact other developers, other games in those genres, in those areas, just to make a better gaming experience for gamers.
Yeah, I mean, competition is everything, right? Like, even if let's say, hypothetically speaking, there's somebody hate watching this who just hates Godforge and they want to see it fail. Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for watching.
If you're one of those, yeah, if you're hate watching this for some reason because I don't know, you're obsessed about Godforge and you want to see it fail. You shouldn't want to see it fail. You should want to see it succeed, because the more successful Godforge is, the more Plarium's going to have to take notice to what they're doing, and the more successful Godforge is, the better Raid will become tomorrow, right?
Yep.
It's like, it's a better future for everyone.
Yep, we've already seen it.
If Godforge fails, then there's no pressure on Raid to make changes, right? They don't have competition.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen it, right? Like, you can say whatever you want, but it just makes too much sense in terms of Raid just suddenly having free gear removal for forever. Like, gear cost is no longer there. Like, I'm sorry, it's too it correlates timeline too closely. Whatever.
And the next faction is Greco-Roman themed. Come on.
Yeah. Since release of the IP of Godforge, we've not only seen the Asgardian event, but now the next faction is Greco-Roman. Okay, well, whatever.
I'm willing to concede that the Asgardian one was just a coincidence, but now it's starting to be like, I don't know, guys.
Yeah. But you know what? That's all right. So, guys, I know we're going to be running short on time here, so I want to finalize with one kind of like last thought as we close out our time, and it really is, what are we looking forward to most? I mean, obviously, beta, right? Like, that's the one-word answer, but like, what about the next stage is really exciting? And Adam is like pumping himself up, so I'm gonna let you start, man. So like, what is on the top of your brain?
For me, it's the normalized game modes. Like, just having a game mode that you can engage with repeatedly, and it's different every time you engage with it. You have a new, fresh experience, and the fact that they're normalized, so like they're not pay to win, is literally the best player. The players who understand the game the best are going to be the most successful. And to me, like, the cream rising to the top is what it should be about. That's it. I'm stoked, man. I can't wait for normalized modes.
Yeah.
I think from my end, it's interesting. What looking forward to, not necessarily in excitement, but just to see how it develops, is the game's going to be completely different, right? From what we have experienced so far. It's going to be more like that sort of raid opening, let's call it hour, where you're doing campaign stages and things like that. Is that going to capture players like the Caverns has? Is it going to be as fun? And that's what I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into, because it is crucial for the longevity of the game that we all get that sort of fun factor that we've just experienced. And if you don't, it's going to leave a lot of players disappointed. And so, like, I don't know what the word is for it. Not skepticism, but like, I want to play that. That's what I'm looking forward to doing. Maybe out of concern, really. I guess like it needs to be as good as what we've just had, if not better.
Right.
They got to bring the thunder, baby.
They really do. They really. Who did Simon show off? Perrin. Perrin needs to bring the thunder.
Perun.
Yeah.
In the live stream.
They already brought the thunder.
Yeah. Oh,
and we saw the Thor idle animation too.
Yeah,
that was good. The way he looked lethargic, he was
I like that they're going with that side of Thor in mythology.
Yeah.
But, I think for me, guys, I'm just looking forward to more heroes. Like their heroes are so awesome. Like, come on, we played 67 of them. And I mean, well, common, uncommon, whatever. Like, there was some crazy things actually with the common uncommons, but like rare and up, like everything, like every hero was just like, you get a new one, you get to play with it. It's like, okay, what treat do I get to, explore and experience now? Like, and we have almost 200 more to look forward to. Like, that just blows my mind. And
yeah.
There's a certain part of me that's like, but it's going to be a hero collector. We're not going to be able to test all of them. Fingers crossed for test server. But that's a CC right? And that's not the general gamer. And so it's going to be a little sad in terms of there's going to be all these heroes that a lot of players aren't going to be able to test and really experience, at least at first. But
that's what the shop is for, right? Support the game.
Yeah, it's true. But man, I mean, there's just going to be so much, and you can just tell, at least for me, I don't know about y'all, but like every time I look or play with a hero or something like that, I can you just get that sense of this hero really got the attention it deserved to be done well. And it's just going to be exciting. Every single time Simon shows another one or we get another league, it's like, I can't wait to figure out what that hero is going to be like.
But can't wait to get leaks back.
Oh, yeah, get all the
Simon's weekly stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to throw one more thing and that I'm excited for that nobody mentioned.
Okay.
The story, the lore.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I had to talk about heroes, but lore is definitely right there too. I can't wait to really dive in and experience what Aaron has been doing in this story. It's going to be incredible.
He's been cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, Simon said if we watch the first cutscene, he's pretty sure we're going to want to watch them all, right? So, certainly, and maybe that is what's going to sort of keep players invested. Like, maybe that's what's going to answer my concern in the change of game modes, the fact that the lore and the story is going to sort of capture you emotionally and want you to progress more. Maybe that's the answer.
There's going to be lots and lots to look forward to. Guys, make sure we're wrapping up today because, we got schedules in life calling, but check out Ragewood channels, check out Adam's channel, I'll have them linked down in the description below. These guys are great, and honestly, if you're not already subscribed to them, you just need to go click that button, frankly. And subscribe to my channel as well, if you haven't. But lots to come. Keep aligned with all of our channels, because we will be covering Godforge to the fullest extent, every leak, every piece of news, everything regarding beta. So check it out, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good one.